You're never going to believe how ignorant this argument against Calvinism is. Someone on the internet has probably told you that Calvinism is Gnostic. Well, they have no idea what they're talking about. Kinda like this guy.
So, Gnostically speaking, what they do is God the Father predetermined everyone from the beginning of time who will be saved, so it's set in stone.
He's not the only one. This ridiculous argument is more common among God-hating anti-Calvinists than AIDS is among but their disease is called Calvinist derangement syndrome.
And the only prescription is more cowbell.
No, Mr. Walken. The cure for Calvinist derangement syndrome is a true story. And so here's a story that's based on one. Snakecrusherproducts. They never let me down. Take a look in the mirror and I rub some on my beard and I head right on into town. Gotta see about a girl. Got to give her some beef, tallow body butter. That's how you know that we love one another. Them Snakecrusher products got me feeling like a brand new man. Bet your granddaddy's farm that it ain't made in Japan. Oh, Lord knows it ain't made in Japan. It's made right here in the red, white, and blue. So what you gonna do? Get a handful of Snakecrusher products for you. First century Rome was full of pagans as far as the eye could see. According to Acts chapter 17, the Areopagus of Athens was like the internet. Even though everyone there couldn't wait to hear a new spiritual idea, every conversation started out with, "Who's this idiot?" That's basically what they said to Paul, but what was the apostle babbling about that day? To answer that question, we're going to need a time machine. While contending for the faith in Athens, Paul was approached by Epicurean and Stoic philosophers who were interested to hear a new thing, as Luke states in verse 18, and so they brought him to the Areopagus, the central hub of all philosophical and religious thought at the time. Among these Epicureans and Stoics were also Eastern gurus who held to the highly popularized idea of dualism. In the context of how these ideas would branch off into Christian Gnosticism, dualism is the idea that there are two realms inherent in reality, the material and the spiritual. The spiritual aspect of reality is good, and the material aspect is evil. This alone is comparable to Christianity, which teaches the same distinction between spiritual and material realms of existence, but the Bible teaches that the material realm that God made was good, and then sin and death entered the world through one man, Adam's offense. But this is different than the material realm being inherently evil. We know that God's plan is to make all things new, to reconcile the fallen state of the material realm, while salvation, according to Eastern thought, was a complete escape from the material, transcending into the spiritual and leaving the material behind forever. So when Paul told them that God has given assurance that Christ will judge the world by his resurrection, he was mocked. They could get behind the idea of a God-man transcending material reality. That was awesome. But resurrecting the material from death and glorifying the body? Not so much. Now, in Greek mythology, chaos, a primordial void of nothingness, is the first being to exist. This void is the parent of all primordial gods, a state that did not create, but is a space which allowed deities to come into being. While the origins of Gnosticism are highly debated and complex, given the nature of Gnosis, many consider Simon the Sorcerer to be the first person called a Gnostic. And in the 2nd century, Irenaeus calls him the father of all heresies. Regardless of how it came to be, Gnosticism combined Eastern dualism, Greek mythology, and apostolic Christianity to create the idea of Docetism. The Pelagian open theist idol killer has tried to pin this doctrine on Calvinism, but not even he believes his own argument, though many of his followers do. Remember dualism? Well, under a worldview like that, God manifesting into material reality would be God manifesting into a form that is inherently evil. So they said that Jesus only appeared to have a physical body, thus denying the incarnation, an actual death, and most importantly for them, a resurrection to a new glorified material body. Gnosticism remains in the world today and retains the title of the most ambitious attempt to reshape the gospel. They seek to go so far as to divorce Christianity from Judaism in the wildest way imaginable. So get this. Remember that in Greek mythology, all gods regress infinitely backwards to this state of primordial chaos. Well, the Gnostics tweaked that idea and said it's not a primordial chaos state. That's the supreme being of the universe, and that's who Jesus' Father is. But the supreme being is not the creator of the universe. The feat of creating an evil material realm belongs to the demiurge, an evil god who seeks to enslave humanity and force them to worship him and follow his laws. Gnostics believe that this demiurge is the God of the Old Testament, is not the Father of Jesus, and there are more benevolent gods who are coming to save us from Jehovah's overbearing rule. Many Gnostics today believe that these gods visit in UFOs. This is quite literally the most imaginative and dark set of heretical doctrines to ever exist on planet Earth. And that's the only reason that the Pelagians want to pin it on us, because they can't deal with our biblical arguments, but neither could the Gnostics. And in the next video, we're going to see how Augustine, who they claim was Gnostic, brought the theological hammer down on them like no one else in history.